Oh my goodness. Things never cease to amaze me, I find on TikTok. Wait till you see this one. Oh boy. Now I see another case where this girl puts herself on TikTok, almost dancing, celebrating, getting food ready, shopping, taking her, she has a baby, home, and getting ready for her, as she calls it, abortion, medical abortion, no big deal. Let's take a look at this ridiculousness, and then I'm going to come back and debunk her nonsense. Let's go.
Have an abortion with me. I was really torn about whether or not I was going to make this video, but I think it's important. This is the video I was looking for. I was like, what's going to go on? So I'm making that video for anyone else who needs to know what's going to go on. Now, I decided to have the pill abortion. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, of my first baby, I had to do the whole ultrasound process. That really did not bang with me. I ghosted the second appointment, so I have this baby. I could not have another baby, so I decided to go with the pill option this time. That first pill that you take, it's just going to be pretty tame. It just like dilates you a little bit. You're supposed to take it 24 hours before you take the other pills. Put the name on the screen. I cannot pronounce it. Now here, after I took that first pill, I went to go get all of my self-care stuff. So I was just grabbing a whole bunch of stuff that would be really easy to make, both for me and the baby. Grabbed some jugs of water because hydration. I did make some of this food in advance just so I could throw it in some Tupperware and also feed myself so that I'd be ready to go down with that second pill. After I put the baby to sleep and cleaned my whole house, mental health, decided to get started on these second pills right before bed, because this is the one that's going to bring on the cramps. So I was just like, okay, let me put myself in a good position where I can shower as much as I want. I'm a single mom, and go to sleep, and then reassess for the beginning of the next day. That's when we do well. In the mornings, we have great mornings. You put the pills in the sides of your cheeks like that, and then you just let it dissolve for 30 minutes. And that's my first take, y'all. You know what I mean? I would rank it like a 6 out of 10. But pro tip, you're going to take the ibuprofen before you take the second pill. That's the mistake that I made. But after the ibuprofen kicked in, I was like, okay, we up, we out. I did a little hair mask. I did a little face mask. I was feeling good. Like, honestly, at this point, it just kind of feels like a heavy period. No big deal. Just stay up on your ibuprofen. That package that I got came with all of that stuff that's included in the beginning of the video. Fastest option that I found was going through a telehealth visit. I actually went to NYC Health. Planned Parenthood is also a great same-day option. They're not open on weekends in New York. The other option you have is going through Hey Jane, which will mail it straight to your house. You do take some insurances, but if they don't take your insurance, you can also apply for one of the abortion funds. Again, I did have some cramping that night. The next day, I was very tired, I will say. That's the day that you're going to want to hydrate really well. I decided to re-up on some iron, but again, I was up parenting and didn't really have a problem moving through my home. I'm not saying that that's a day that I would want to go to work. So I would call out that day from work if that's something that you're going through. You can finesse a slight work from home day if you need to. But this day, mostly, I just focused on hydration, feeding myself, keeping with our routine. We did some stretches. I also spent a lot of time on this day checking in with my support team. So what that looks like is calling my friends and my mom and my sisters and my therapist and just making sure that I am well. And if I'm not well, if I'm struggling with those feelings, that I can at least start to talk about them so that you're not holding that inside. As long as your feelings are flowing through you, then you'll make it through them. I will say the next day, I was like slight irritated at so much that my baby did. Like, why is she pouring this juice in this measuring cup? So I don't know. I wouldn't blame that on this situation. I just think it might just be a hard mom day. Again, had some cramps in the afternoon, kind of second round, re-upped on that ibuprofen. Then I was good enough to take her to the park. We went outside, we got some stuff done. Cold. And it honestly just felt like another day, just like another period day.
That was not what really happens. Okay. First of all, she couldn't have been filming herself while she was actually going through a medical/chemical abortion. Okay. But guess what? We hear the aftermath from the women who've gone through this procedure. You can go to abortiontestimony.com if you want to read all of these stories. So many, we get them in every day. But let me just read you a couple, and then we're going to look at what this unborn baby looked like before it was killed from this chemical abortion. But here's one. This is Patricia, and she was at a Planned Parenthood in North Carolina. Patricia was told by her doctor there was nothing to worry about this chemical abortion. He said she might have some bleeding, possibly a little clotting, and that the complications were very rare. Here's what Patricia said in her own words about her experience. She said, the next day at home, alone with my infant son, I took the abortion pills. Within 1 hour, I knew that everything the doctor had told me was a lie. I was bleeding so heavily, I believed I was dying. I was passing clots the size of baseballs, and I was in the worst physical pain of my life, worse than childbirth. Because remember, she already had a child, so she knew what childbirth felt like. The worst part of my experience was when I was sitting on the toilet. I felt myself pass a clot that felt very strange. I looked into the toilet and I saw my baby. It had a head, a body, and tiny arms and legs. The shame and guilt that I felt at that moment as I was forced to flush my aborted baby down the toilet is impossible to describe. That's the real truth. That's what happens in a chemical abortion. And brothers and sisters, you know what bothers me most about this TikTok video? Is your teenage girls are watching this kind of junk because they're on TikTok. Even if you think they're not, guess what? You better have some parental controls on your phone, and you better remove TikTok as one of the apps they can go to. And you really tighten up things because guess what? They're being fed this junk every day, constantly, saying, "Oh, abortion's no big deal. Oh, it's no big deal. What's the big deal? Look at me. I had one. Oh, woo, woo." Okay, it's not ooh, woo, woo, no big deal. Let me read you another story. This is Jessica from Oregon. She was in a committed relationship and she became pregnant. The father didn't want the baby and he pressured her to abort. Here's her words. Jessica said, "I reluctantly took the first abortion pill inside the Planned Parenthood office. They gave me another pill to take home hours later. I cried hysterically on the hour drive home, wondering, how could I be so cruel to kill my own baby? Not long after I took the second pill, I felt nauseous, lightheaded, and stomach cramping started. I felt so weak, I just wanted to lay down. But I was in such excruciating pain and heavy bleeding, and I felt that sitting on the toilet in the bathroom was best. I birthed my dead baby into the toilet. I was heartbroken when I saw it had tiny fingers and toes. I bled a lot, and the abortion was excruciating pain, almost as painful as my 2 unmedicated full-term births." That's the truth of chemical abortion. And guess what? They're all making it sound like, and even that girl, like, no big deal. It's probably a bunch of tissue. Let's take a look just for a minute at some pictures of the unborn child at the same stage of development that these girls experience seeing their babies in the toilet. So let's take a look at some pictures real quick. Okay, look at that baby at 7 weeks. That's what they're seeing in the toilet, brothers and sisters. Not a bunch of cells and tissue or like a period. Like she's saying, "Oh, it's just like a heavy period." Let's take another look. 8 weeks. There we go. Baby. Heart's already beating millions of times. That's a real baby. Next. There we go. 9 weeks. Look at that. The development of the baby. It's not a clump of cells, but this is what these women are seeing in the toilets from these chemical abortions. Brothers and sisters, you got to warn people about this. You really do. It's sickening that this TikTok stuff is just all over the place. Our young teenagers are buying the lies. Kids in high school and college are thinking that they can just have this, medical abortion pills, no big deal. And guess what? Parents, they can get the pills without your permission, and they don't even have to go to Planned Parenthood. Just you go Google it. You can get it mail ordered. Oh, if they don't want to mail order it to home, that you might find it. If they're in college, they can mail order to their dorm. They give it out on college campuses, no big deal. Brothers and sisters, you got to get the truth out there. And if you want to see these pictures of the unborn child, go to myheartbeatsjustlikeyours.com. Go there. We have all the images. You can download them, use them, and we have a great brochure that you can get from our online store. Go to myheartbeatsjustlikeyours.com. We'll send you these brochures because you have got to spread the news about this unborn baby, and that's the baby they're killing with chemical abortions. Well, just remember, there are some abortions only you're going to be able to stop. Therefore, some lives only you can save. Join me again next time on Janet Reacts. Thank you.